What's up, guys? It's the Facial Recognition Podcast. I'm Neel Nanda.
I'm Fizza Dasani.
I'm Paula Veganala.
I'm Zara Ali. The Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. But it's okay.
Oh, what did I say?
Use the facial recognition.
Everyone drops the
It's
comedy.
fine. It's
I
fine.
drop the comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
sometimes
it's a common thing.
in the podcast we drop the comedy and we're just real. So
Today we're dropping the comedy.
Keep that.
No, but Neil, you're here, so it's gonna be funny regardless. Like you're a funny dude.
We'll see. Pressure's on.
Oh,
stand-up
snap.
comedian, actor, writer, Insta model.
Yeah, I've been throwing the butt pics out
Yo,
there.
your Instagram's been popping lately.
Oh, thank you. I'm
What
glad.
do you, and I love you do this sometimes where like every now and then there's like some dude from India who's trying to get verified and they're like, how did you get your blue check? And you like troll them so hard for
man.
so long. It goes on for hours.
A guy almost bought an e-meter. Like I told him he needed to get an e-meter that was like a Scientology meter where you like reads your thetans. I know all about Scientology because that's what I've been telling
how
these
many
people.
thetans-
Yeah,
do you
you've been
have?
telling everyone to get into Scientology, and it kind of like I love it, but it also kind of bothers me.
It's got-
Like,
But
they're
you're
all
not a
gonna get-
Scientologist.
No, I'm not a Scientologist.
Have
I'm
you
just trolling
Have
them.
you been heavy recruited by a Scientologist? Is this why? Like, I feel like you have a vengeance against the Scientologists.
I honestly just
As
think
you
they're
should.
funny. I just think it's funny. I think they're the funniest religion, and their whole all their stuff. I mean, I'm probably gonna get in so much trouble for saying this.
you
but
may not get cast
Your
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
your followers
Ever
just
again.
dropped down to
Yeah.
2,000.
Have you been to the Celebrity Center
I have not.
on Franklin? Okay, so I was driving by it. Do you guys know the story?
Yeah, I think you brought it up a couple times, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
still
Is this
interesting.
about the cookies? Who has a story about the cookies?
No, it's the van, right?
Yeah, there was a van. There were like 6 dudes with like hoods. Like it looked like KKK but black hoods. And they were escorting someone out of the car and their face was wrapped up like a mummy. And I was with a friend and she was freaked out. So she's like, drive. But like I wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah, what was going on? What
Yeah, I thought you would know. That's why I brought it up.
How would I know? What the? They were dressed
I don't know,
as a
man.
mummy.
How'd you get that check mark?
You're right.
It seems
I was
like
the mummy. All right.
that does seem like some sort of initiation or hazing. Like, because I
It could have been Tom Cruise after plastic surgery.
It
I don't
could have
know.
been. You
Honestly,
never know.
we've done worse in college. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I've
true.
definitely been hazed worse than that in college.
Oh, I
for
forgot
sure.
you were in a sorority.
It's fine.
Your mannerism changed.
Most people.
I forgot.
Yeah, you're in a
No, that
sorority.
doesn't. Why so uppity? It doesn't make me uppity. It's just whatever.
I'm uppity.
It's-
I'm secretly uppity. I'm
she
bougie as
is
fuck.
actually.
Yeah.
It's shocking how uppity she is.
I'm pretty bougie.
Wait, uppity
myself.
how?
I mean, I'm bougie. Like I like nice things.
She's like,
I like comfort.
You like nice sweatpants. I
She's
noticed that. You have
bougie.
good sweatpants.
She's bougie in disguise. Like she's always like forever dressed in like some sort of pajama party. But like you go into
Love
her
it.
apartment and it's like a nice loft and very like ambiotic and really nice.
Does it smell like lavender?
Fizza from the streets, man. I'm I gotta.
There's nothing-
Fizza from the
Neil,
block?
there's
Neil's
no-
so confused.
I'm
He's
very
like, we're just
confused.
supposed to know Fizza from the street.
I don't know.
no-
Yeah, what is Fizza from the
There's
street?
no street. When you walk into Fizz's apartment, it's like people from the street have never stepped foot
Is it
in
like
there.
Laurel?
ever.
What street is it?
It's close to Laurel.
Yeah,
clo-
yeah.
I'm on
Actually, really
Laurel.
close to Laurel.
I'm on Laurel. I probably shouldn't say that
Yeah.
because we have some weird fans.
Yeah.
From the block. That was actually the
Are you-
reference I was gonna make.
Are you bougie, Neil?
I'm pretty bougie. I'm very bougie. I don't like. I'm just like, yeah. I have like shoes I won't wear in certain neighborhoods. And
but
shit. Yeah.
But you also have like you're a huge like Jordans. Like you have so many Jordans.
yes, too many.
And then you also won't wear your gold ones on stage because they're distracting. or
Yeah,
something?
I'm super
Superstitious.
I'm very superstitious about
Yeah.
my clothing. I'll say even last night,
Yeah.
that was my first time wearing that shirt on stage, and I had a great set, and I'll wear it again. Otherwise, I wouldn't have worn it again. And I've been holding. This is a shirt I really like. This sweater that I was wearing last night, and I just had it in my closet for weeks. So I was like, what if I bomb in it?
That's so funny
I'm
to
the
me.
same way actually. And now whenever I bomb on stage, I don't wear that outfit
Ever again?
ever again.
Yeah, I
ever
agree.
again. So now I'm down to like
One outfit.
3 outfits. Basically like 3 outfits that I wear on stage. That's it. That's
I'm-
it.
I'm
That's
the-
like my comedy uniform.
I'm the opposite because like I remember at the beginning like a lot of women and like men and women told me like what to wear and like not to wear dresses and shit, and so I was like, fuck this, the jokes are gonna stand, and I just like wore whatever I
Oh,
wanted.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
you wearing a dress at like this horribly disgusting party once.
Oh, I still do that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That gross party.
Wait,
that
which
was-
party?
There was that backyard party show.
Oh
and
yeah,
It was
that
like-
was when we
Yeah,
hung
that's when
out.
we had-
yeah.
yeah.
Why was it disgusting?
Oh.
It was
It's a
not
backyard
disgusting.
It was pretty gross. It was pretty gross.
Maybe you think it was gross because you were wasted.
I was wasted, but I got wasted because it was gross. That was that was causation.
it helps. Sometimes when you're around like these like weird comedy rooms, it's like let's just
it wasn't a room. It was
try to
someone's-
forget
It was
this.
someone's
It's like
backyard. backyard.
There were no walls.
Communal backyard.
It was a communal backyard. It looked like it
No
was one of those
ceiling?
communal art space type of things, right? Or-
Yeah, like
yeah.
Mid City Art House? Oh no, that's not outside.
we're not.
it was
We're, how
somebody's
about we
house.
not name it after Neil says it was disgusting?
I
actually like
I know,
Mid-City
right?
art.
I don't want to name.
Art.
The guy was really nice. He was
Yeah.
a really nice guy, and it was a fun show, but it was just really gross.
But yeah, I'll wear whatever because I just am like I'm stubborn about it. When people tell me not to do something, I'm like, I'll figure out a way to do it.
I just need to be comfy.
You know,
That's it.
I don't. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I had a lot of people will give you comedy rules, don't do this, don't ask questions, don't blah blah. Someone told me not to ever ask the crowd questions, so now I do it in every bit. Every bit I ask questions because I'm like, fuck this guy. You know,
I
fuck
love
him.
questions.
I love questions too. It's interactive. It gets people listening and paying and interacting with you.
Yeah, I like that too.
What are these rules? What are
I
these
don't know.
awful rules that you guys have
No,
gotten? Do you have any others?
my favorite rule is don't be pretty on stage. And I'm like, okay, so you want me to wear a bag over my head? What do you want me to do? What the fuck do you
No
want me to
makeup.
do? How?
It's
Because I'm a woman, so if a man is looking at me, it's
What she's saying is she cannot look ugly.
Right.
no, but it's like she
Needs the bag.
She's kind of saying that a little.
No,
bit.
no, but it's like
get me the Shia LaBeouf version. We're putting this bag
it's
on.
like, do you want me to exchange faces with somebody? It's like
It's a dumb rule.
You're telling somebody
Should I be an ugly
okay,
person?
Well, also
I don't
it's
know.
saying
Yeah, how
it's
do I
saying that
be
men
ugly?
It's
Do I
saying
need a
that
hump?
men are going to get distracted because they can't pay attention to what you're saying because
that's
they're
why-
distracted by your beauty or your titties or whatever.
That's why I wore the dresses. I was like, I'm going to find a way to be funny in what people think is the most distracting outfit.
But aren't you afraid of flashing the audience like you're wearing a dress?
It's a show, you know? I'm an
Part of it, yeah.
entertainer.
But the thing is, it's like
I'm just moving too much.
this
so.
isn't abnormal
Make sure
anymore.
everything's in.
It is not abnormal anymore. Amy Schumer's been wearing dresses on stage. All the
Yeah.
That
all the
bitch
women
Sorry,
Yeah.
that bitch
She-
lifted her skirt in her special. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I saw it.
It was so funny.
Neil, are you afraid to look sexy on stage?
I am not afraid to look sexy on stage. I
Yeah.
try to look sexy on stage.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm throwing nice jackets.
I think we all look sexy on stage.
Neil's
I think it's
taken,
part
ladies.
of. I think if anyone's on stage and being funny and owning the crowd, I think that's one of the sexiest things.
Yeah.
Why?
That's
Yeah.
why
Why?
it's hard. It's hard with male comics. They just
Ooh.
use that charm.
It's true.
I hate people who say you can't wear shorts on stage.
Oh yeah,
don't
you,
like
had
that?
that really fun line.
Yeah, someone was actually giving me shit about wearing
wear
shorts.
shorts? Yeah.
But I've never seen them killing pants, so what the
Right.
fuck does it matter?
Right.
So
Where did you wear shorts? I'm just curious. Was it outdoors? Was it
it was indoors.
It was indoors.
It was
okay.
indoors, and it was summer. It was really, really,
Yeah.
really hot. It was
Okay.
hot at
Yeah.
night.
But I don't think generally that rule applies to women. Usually guys get shit for wearing shorts and sandals and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, he
women,
was
it's
hating 'cause he
whatever.
can't wear
I'm
shorts.
pretty sure Fluffy has all he
Yeah.
ever wears on stage is shorts.
Yeah,
I've
Adam
never seen
Sandler.
Gabriel Iglesias
Has
wearing
anyone seen
anything.
Adam Sandler live?
Yeah.
He wears shorts. He wears
Yeah.
basketball
None of
shorts.
these rules matter. Just be fucking funny.
Be funny should be the only rule.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. Just be funny.
I think the only rule that matters is be a tolerant person on and off stage.
I don't even think that applies.
Really?
No, I don't.
I
think
don't
so.
know. I mean, there's some people that are just not good people off stage, and it's very hard to.
There's a lot of those people that work, so it doesn't matter.
It's just-
A lot
I
of
don't
people
know.
sell
People
tickets.
love assholes.
Yeah, people do love assholes.
can be very successful.
But I agree that it's important to be kind. I
Yeah.
will say that. You can say offensive shit as long as it's funny and you're a good person. That's
Sure.
I mean,
no, it's
yeah.
that's
it
my
is important.
preference.
Yeah.
No, it's important to be kind, but I mean, you can't just. Not everyone's
Can't
going to
control
do it. Yeah, you
everyone.
I
can't
mean,
control
that's
everybody.
true. Louis C.K. had a great career, before he was outed for
mean-
not being a good person.
I mean, all these rules can be broken and you can be successful, but it's
There are
personal
exceptions,
morals.
yeah.
yeah, there's exceptions. So you can be a douchebag and make it. I mean, that's what
But
we're
really,
saying.
fuck you.
have you worn shorts on stage?
No.
Have you masturbated in front of anyone?
No, I actually haven't. Masturbation is such a personal thing. Don't you want to do it? That's an alone time.
Just you and the
deal.
porn.
Just me and the porn. It's
Yeah.
just me living
me-
vicariously through someone's
And
dick.
all the people in the gangbang.
Yeah, and all the people in the gangbang. All the people in the harem, actually.
Oh my god,
not a
that's
gang-
your
Very
specific form.
intimate.
That's your
It's
specific.
my keyword? No, that's
your
not my
keyword?
keyword. No.
Is this your safe word? Harem.
Harem, yeah. No, that's not my. Do you want to know? Are we doing keywords?
Yeah, what's
or
your
a
safe
keyword?
word?
Yeah, what's your safe word?
I don't have a safe word.
What keyword keyword? What is
What's
a keyword? Is like
Keyword is what you type.
yeah.
I have a
Not
safe
safe
word.
word. Safe word is what you say when you're like
keyword.
stop.
The things that you
Keyword.
type when
Okay.
you're like searching
When
for
you're
something.
searching for
Like
porn.
when you're in the mood. Right. Okay.
What would your safe word be? Because I kind of want to know.
By the
what
way,
your-
is a safe word? I don't have a safe word.
I have
I'll
a
let,
safe
I let
word.
it
Our
fly.
parents would be so
Hey.
proud of this conversation.
Hey, you do what you want, girl.
Can I-
No
I-
safe word.
Can I share my safe
Shoot
word?
me in the face.
What's
girl.
your safe word?
Don't stop, keep going.
Hey.
That's a safe phrase.
What?
Yeah, it's hyphenated. So.
Oh, okay. Don't
Yeah.
stop, keep going. That's her safe word.
It just keeps them on their toes because they have to be really
They got-
alert
yeah,
to pay
that's-
attention to that.
Yeah,
very
well, I
confusing.
don't. That's the most confusing
Yeah,
safe
it's
word.
very confusing.
I don't have a safe word.
Oh yeah. Good. You should.
But I'm open to it.
I'm looking into it. Okay, are we doing keywords?
Yeah, what's
Yeah, what's your keyword? What are you searching for?
I literally did this on a podcast like a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And now I'm like,
And
yeah,
now it's
fuck,
out there, so you might as
It's fine.
well.
Out there.
So embarrassing. Twerking.
Hey.
I like when a girl puts in a little
just
work.
saw Cardi B.
Yeah,
You were like front row at Cardi
I
B.
was front row at Cardi B.
I saw that. I was at a show. We were on the show together, and he like blew it off because he was, I don't know, partying with Dan Bilzerian, and Cardi
Yeah.
B was there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, just tell him I had a taping or whatever." And I was like, "Okay." And then meanwhile, he's like, "Yo, look at my Instagram." And I'm like looking at his stories, and I'm like, "All right, you're making me lie to these people whose show you ditched." But
Yeah.
at the same time, everybody could see your party
Yeah.
with Cardi
Yeah.
B.
They
I
could
know.
also see your Instagram.
I know. Well, the excuse was my girlfriend was doing press for that party, so my excuse was
Okay.
like, I'm holding her camera, I'm filming it, I'm doing
Oh,
press.
you're working.
I'm working.
Her camera is your Instagram story.
I mean, it was great. Like
Cardi was singing directly to you.
to the camera. It was unbelievable.
Your like commentary though, and like your things like as you're going through this party, you're like, "Yo, it's Cardi B, my new best friend."
yeah, she is. We're BFFs.
And then you just kept saying it was regular LA life to just be at a house party with
Yeah.
Cardi.
Regular.
Suck on that, New York.
Oh my god.
Yeah, somebody actually from New York, Brendan Sagalow, comedian, was like, "I'm partying like Neel Nanda," and he was partying in New York, and I was like, "Dude, there's no that house doesn't even have a closet. Like, it's
Yeah.
not. That's not a. It was like a cool party in New York with a cool view, but there was like a bedroom.
It was
I
at,
like,
it was
dude,
at a
yeah.
studio apartment.
Yeah.
in Manhattan.
That's the equivalent.
There's no comparison
There's
to
no
like being at like a billionaire's house.
Yeah, he had
in
42
LA.
bedrooms in his house. It was unbelievable.
That guy?
Sheesh.
Yeah, Dan Bilzerian.
Isn't he? Is he like? What is he?
He's the
What I know,
Instagram dude.
He's like, he
Isn't he
apparently
conservative or something?
I mean, he
or-
has a lot of guns. Like he shows
Oh,
off his
yeah, he's
guns
been
and
into
his
guns.
money and his
He-
whatever. But like, what did he?
He made $150 million gambling.
Yeah, he's a poker
He's
player,
a poker
right?
player. Yeah.
Isn't he like a former? I forget what he a former Navy SEAL. He's like a Navy SEAL
Yeah.
who got kicked out. So he's like America, and then he's like really into guns and
the first line of his Wikipedia is an Armenian American internet personality and gambler who's mostly known for his lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
he does have a lavish lifestyle.
It was quite lavish.
And it's like if you're an Instagram model of any sort, like you need a picture with Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't matter as an Instagram personality.
Every butt from
swole.
Instagram was there. He is very
I think
swole.
I'll be fine.
He's thick.
I think.
He's
I mean,
thick.
and so
Very thick.
like.
No, Kanye's thick. Okay,
No,
this
I
guy's
feel
jacked.
like I feel like Dan Bilzerian started
Chuff.
the douchebag movement,
Chubby
like
buff.
of modern times.
Possibly.
Great.
I think so
Possibly.
because like so many guys are like aspiring to be like
Oh,
this
yeah.
douchebag, and it's like you cannot be Dan Bilzerian, you know, like just
There's
be
one
you.
Dan Bilzerian. Yeah,
You
my
know?
my girlfriend's little 16-year-old brother texted me while I was at the party and was like, "How did you get in? What the fuck, man? Dude, can you get a picture with Dan?" I was like, "Wow, why does a 16-year-old like aspire to be Dan Bilzerian?"
Yeah, like obsessed with it. Isn't he like a 37-year-old dude who's just got like a bunch of hoes around
It's
him
a
at all
lifestyle.
at all
style.
times. Yeah.
But it's like also, if you're a woman, would you really like? Do you want that STD risk to
Depends
be
on the
like
woman,
around
you
Dan
know?
Bilzerian? Like some people want it so bad, and I'm like, wow, you guys just look hungry.
They
and
want
desperate.
that STD specifically from him.
Yeah.
They want his
I
STD.
guess.
want his
I guess
STD.
that's like a thing, something
like
that you put
getting
on
his
your
baby.
resume.
Yeah.
Put it on your Instagram model resume, like hang out with Dan Bilzerian, got an STD by Dan Bilzerian.
It's just your STDs and who you got it
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
That's
You want to
like,
keep it
who's-
as long as you
It's
can.
just like that's how you know who's who in Hollywood.
You can live
Like,
with syphilis for a long time, right? Before it causes
That'll
nerve
100% go to
I
your
mean-
brain and you'll become Al
Yeah.
Capone. Or in
Honestly-
I think Donald Trump has neural syphilis and that's why his brain is all fucked up.
You think so?
I think so because he's talked like that since he was 30. He sounds like he's had dementia forever. Like I think something's wrong with his brain. Anyways.
very well could be. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on a tangent about Dan Bilzerian.
We hate him, but if you got that extra invite though,
I've gotten that
If you
from
got that
so
plus
many.
3.
I've gotten that from so many dudes specifically. They're like, man, fuck that guy. But if you go to his next party, like, let me know. Like,
yeah.
What's up?
I mean, he's got the money to pay entertainers, right? So if he's ever booking a comedy show at his place, let me know.
Cardi B, followed by Neel Nanda and the facial recognition comedy.
That would be so amazing if that was like our next show.
Did you get twerked on?
There was just
Pretty close. It seems
I
like
think by Cardi B,
Yeah.
or just no, she
Or
was on-
anyone, I don't know.
There was my girlfriend
Get
was
what you
there.
can.
My girlfriend was there,
Yeah.
so you know
So
it was
kind of hard to invite the twerking over to yourself.
But you
But
have
I
a twerk pass for Cardi B. Like,
I don't think so. I don't
Really? You
no.
guys don't have like
We don't
a
have-
list?
No, we
Like
have a
of
list.
who's okay?
They don't have
list.
they don't have a safe word. How are they gonna have a list?
Yeah, we have a list.
hall
We have a
pass
couple.
list?
We have a couple people on the list. But
Can we ask who it is?
You want to share?
you guys have the same
You want
persona.
to share?
I can share mine.
Yeah,
I can
share
Do you guys have any
I don't-
overlap in your
I'll
list?
share hers too. I don't care.
Yeah.
Mine. I think my only one that I recall is Margot Robbie. I think that's the only
Oh,
one.
what?
I would just
Yeah.
like totally because like she was like it has to be someone that you'll never meet. You know?
But we're in LA.
Yeah. But I know we're in LA, but it's like it can't be like a comedian or something or like someone you know you do.
Yeah.
She wanted them to be pretty unattainable.
That's actually
Right,
a pretty good
right.
rule, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, my boyfriend didn't do that. So
oh.
What he was like the neighbor.
No, literally, Iffy Nwadwe has a joke. Like he did it yesterday. He has a joke where he's like, "Yeah, she wanted to have this open relationship talk." So I was like, "Yeah, like Selena, your best friend."
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
But who was your?
well, I mean, I put Trevor Noah on the top of my list.
Yeah.
Which isn't like impossible.
It's not impossible.
So it's not impossible.
not
And so like
impossible.
every time anyone's talking about Trevor Noah, his mom is in love with Trevor Noah too. So whenever we're both talking about it, he has to like leave the room.
You guys have the same hall pass list.
I guess so, maybe.
You and his mom.
Yeah, me and his mom.
Wait, so who's your hall pass?
Or what hers or
Both.
His is Margot.
Yours is
Margot Robbie
Who's
was
yours?
mine.
Yeah.
Hers
Oh, right.
is Harry Styles.
Okay.
Oh,
Which is
interesting.
also not unattainable for her. She works in pop. Like she works
Okay.
in like pop entertainment. So and she's met Harry Styles.
So the rule just applies to you.
So
I
did you
guess,
feel
yeah.
a certain way when she met Harry Styles? Were you like laughing about it? Did you feel
she
a
met
little
him
bit?
before we started dating. So
Okay.
I you know it is what it is. But
Was there a
it
spark?
is what it is. But you know,
Neel Nanda calling out Harry Styles on the Facial Recognition
yeah,
Comedy Podcast.
fuck you, Harry.
He's bringing his friend Dan, and you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, we're getting fucked up, dude. Me and Dan, all the Instagram models, we're gonna kick your ass, dude. But yeah, she works in pop. So if Harry Styles drops another album or something, there's
Yeah.
a possibility she interviews him or goes to an event. Or
But she
something.
has self-control.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. We'll find
How long
out.
have you been together?
4 years.
Damn, you got a degree.
snap.
I got a degree. Yeah.
Wow.
Got a degree in that girl.
I got
LA long term.
Yeah, that's almost impossible. How did
I
this
think
happen?
2 months is LA long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
after
great.
30 days, it's long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Common law
It's like a
marriage at that
trial,
point.
yeah.
How did that happen?
I mean, how did it happen? Just how did we meet? Or
Well,
how did-
that and also like 4 years is a long time. It's like very hard for people in LA to even exist like as a couple longer than 30
Right.
days.
Well,
What's the glue that holds you guys together?
Yeah.
I'll say
The
that
dog.
the dog. Yeah, we do have a dog.
Yeah,
That
that
is.
helps.
Oh
So cute.
man.
No one
your
wants
dog.
joint custody.
the dog,
Nobody wants
the
joint
dog
custody.
brought you closer together.
Thinking about
That is
losing,
a cute ass dog though.
Thinking about losing my girlfriend and the dog makes me cry. Like knowing the dog is gonna possibly go just like makes me tear up. Like so, I'm holding on. But we, the thing is, for the first like 6 months or so, it was a what is this relationship?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we were like we didn't set any like it wasn't like serious immediately.
Yeah.
So for like the first 6 months or so, it was just kind of like we were kind of casually dating and everything, and then we just decided like it ended up being like seeing her more and more, and then it was just like okay, this is what I'm doing.
It's the thing now.
Yeah, this is what's happening. We did have the what is this conversation.
After 6 months.
How is that for you
waited.
as a guy? Like when someone brings that up, a woman brings it up.
Well-
What are we?
What are we? It depends on when it happened. Well, the thing is, like, it felt justified.
The night after a one night stand.
No, well,
The morning after a one night stand.
that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. But no,
and also the night
it
after.
felt justified because we had been dating for so long and we had been seeing each other so often that I was like expecting it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a bitch when it comes to that stuff, or a pussy.
Well, you're not alone.
Yeah, where I don't. It's not that I don't want to have the conversation or that I don't. It's just that I'm like afraid. I'm afraid of rejection. Honestly, I'm afraid of like, hey, so like, what about like we do this, and then she'd be like, no, and like that. So I.
But if
I
she
never,
initiates the conversation, then
it's
there's
cool.
less of a chance for rejection.
yeah, then it's cool.
I mean,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
What are we? Because
No.
I can't. I want to leave.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't ever initiate the conversation because I'm just afraid of rejection. But I felt like it was justified because we've been seeing each other so often, and that's fine.
Has she ever initiated a conversation that's completely surprised you, where you felt like it, or her or anyone else, where you felt like it was too soon, or you weren't ready, or you felt like it wasn't a justified time, like it wasn't a justified moment in your timeline to bring up the conversation?
Neil, we're having a puppy.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, was she like?
No, we taled about that, and I was stoked. I was real
Yeah?
stoked. Oh yeah, we were so excited. We like looked at pictures. And,
How
like,
many
what's
years
like-
into the relationship did you guys get the dog?
About a year and a half.
How was the relationship when you got the dog?
It was good. Everything was good. And it wasn't. He actually fell into our laps. Actually, it was like he kind of fell into because we were looking at getting a dog.
Yeah.
We were looking through like pictures and going like, oh, maybe next Saturday we'll go and like see them in cages and like pretend to not be sad when we leave and like do the whole thing. And we, her mom has 5 dogs, and they got a new dog who thought he was a puppy, and he beat up Baxter, our dog.
Oh,
He beat him up, and Baxter had to get stitches, and possibly he didn't have to get surgery, but like there's a possibility if the stitches don't heal and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and so he was like his neck was all messed up and all this stuff. So we took care of him
Yeah.
while they were like, okay, we need to find him a new place because these dogs don't get along. We need
Yeah.
to get rid of him. We have to find him a home. So we took care of him while he was being recovered, and because we were taking care of him, he like bonded with us.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. Like we gave him like medication and stuff, so he was like scared. He would cuddle with us,
Yeah.
and he'd,
My dog's old, and every time he gets sick and like I think I'm gonna lose him, or I have to feed him or take care of him in that way, you just like bond so much closer. It's crazy.
So much closer. It's insane.
It's
insane.
weird.
They act like like they're your
babies,
child. They're your
yeah.
baby. Yeah, they turn into a baby. So we were like, we can't give him back. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Aw.
So that's how we got Baxter. That's why we got
That's so
Baxter.
sweet.
Yeah.
I love that he matches with your furniture
Decor,
and
yeah.
your decor in
Yeah.
your apartment. Did
and
you-
with us, he's white with brown spots. So
he's really your kid.
he is our
so
kid.
funny.
Zara was asking about the difficult questions that your girl might have asked
Oh,
you.
I don't think so. We're kind of on the same page about everything. That's why we get along so well. We are. It's so funny. I always say that like when you find someone you love or find someone you like, it's someone who you can hate everybody else with. So, so my girl, we're on the same page about everything, and then we're like, isn't that bitch crazy? Or like, isn't that dude
funny.
fucking stupid? So we really get along. We're on the same page about everything. So I've never really been like shocked or anything has felt unjustified because we're on the same page. And I
Yeah.
think I don't know if we've become on the same page as each other, or if that was natural, or if that was like we just were the similar type of people. But yeah, I really think that when you find someone you love, it's somebody who you can really hate everybody and everything else with.
That's so sweet.
That sounds like it should be a keychain.
your mutual
Yeah, that should be your
hatred.
merch.
That should be my
Your mutual hatred brought you closer together.
Yeah, it's just like mutually agreeing that everything else and everything. Because like you meet people,
Yeah.
you know people. I really think that the more you get to know people, the more you realize everybody sucks. Like I like you guys a lot because I rarely see you guys.
Yeah.
Like if we hung out every day, I promise there's some you would hate about me.
Of course.
Some I would hate about you. So it's great to find someone who I live with and stay with every day that I don't have that feeling towards. You
Yeah.
know. So
And it's like it's a indication of like the values that you have. If you like hate people for specific things, you're like, oh, they're doing this behavior that I don't think it's right, and that's like
sure.
yeah.
I guess, or just they piss you off,
fucking hate
or
them.
yeah, or,
Or you just fucking hate them,
Or you
dude.
don't like them. That's
Oh, man.
possible too.
Cool.
We got a lot of information
nice.
about your
Yeah.
relationship.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you,
Wow.
Do you have siblings?
I have a sister.
Yeah.
Older, younger?
Vani.
Vani, yeah. Do you know my sister?
We talked about this backstage once.
Oh, word?
Because we were talking.
Younger
Maybe
sister?
it could have been.
Older sister.
So we were talking about how like a lot of Desi people have a hard time between the differentiating between the V and the W.
Oh, right, because my
Yeah.
dad fucks it up. It's so
Wani.
funny.
Yeah.
My dad goes, Wani?
Wani.
Come here. And like my sister would have friends over and they're like, oh, have I been saying your name wrong? I'm so sorry.
That's my favorite.
It was so, it's like, no, my
It's
dad's
Vani
saying
with
my
a
name
V,
wrong.
right?
With a V, V-A-N-I. My dad, Wani, come here, Wani.
When your mom wrote the name on the birth certificate, your dad was just like,
Fuck. Probably.
I never understood that. And then when they see a W, they like use a V. So it's always
get it either.
Vata, or I'm like,
Yeah.
that's it. There's why? It's just it's these two letters.
It's not that hard.
I know.
Also, yeah,
I know.
yeah, our dumbass parents.
Yeah,
Am I right?
No.
Yeah,
Dumbasses
fucking-
came here,
Gave
us a better life, but
full
can't pronounce
scholarship
the
to Georgia
W.
Tech. What a
Come
fucking
on,
idiot.
yeah. Dumbass.
But
Dumbass
it's-
pharmacist.
This
Fuck
is
it.
what it
engineer
makes,
bitch.
and that's why it's such a conundrum. Like it makes no sense to me
Yeah.
because these people are fucking geniuses otherwise.
I guess.
My dad-
but when it comes to the grasp of the English language
it's
and
the-
certain things,
It's the same thing as us like going to Japan and they're like, oh, he says watashi wa instead, whatever.
I guess.
Which is actually Japanese, not racist.
But I think I understand your. Oh, that was
Yeah.
weird. I understand where you're coming from because it's like they can say both sounds.
Yeah,
they can
you're-
say the V and the W, but you confuse
Right.
them.
yeah. And
you flip them.
did something happen when the Brits left and you guys were like, no, we're gonna change up the alphabet.
We're gonna fuck it up.
We're gonna fuck it up on purpose. Like what?
know.
But I think it's also dependent on like where you're from because my mom and dad will mispronounce things differently. So I just grew up in this household where it was like different pronunciations for everything.
Yeah.
Like my dad doesn't say, I don't know if this is a my dad thing or like Tamil people, but my dad doesn't say yellow. He says ello.
oh, that's weird.
It's weird, right? Like I don't know if that's just I'm
that
always
him thing.
confused.
That is a part of the world type of thing. Like there, depending on what language you grew
Yeah.
up speaking, you may not know or have the ability to say
Right.
certain words. Like I have friends who are Gujarati,
Right.
And when I meet their parents, they say jada. For some,
Yeah.
or they anything that
Yeah.
starts with a Z, they
J.
use J.
F is
Okay.
P.
Like zero.
Yeah.
So I'm Pidja.
Yeah,
Pidja.
pidja.
Pizza? Yeah, pizza? Would you like some
Pizza.
pizza?
Pidja. Instead of zero, it's
Would you like
Gito.
paneer on the pizza?
Yeah.
Pidja. Last name Dosni.
Yeah. And then like Arabs, they don't have the letter P in their language. So even like when you look at Pepsi cans or bottles,
Bepsi?
it's Bebsy.
Or is-
no, it's just SC. They like
Yeah.
don't even see it.
it's a Bebsy. It's so
every time they look,
Like,
it doesn't even show
I mean,
up.
I'm just Alavi to that.
Balavi.
I mean, it's kind of how like American like people can't say like
Anything.
Hindi- yeah,
they
can't-
literally can't pronounce any ethnic word.
Like my girlfriend says like basmati rice, and
Basmati.
I laugh so hard, and she can't say basmati, like she can't say the, like the thi, like, or she can't say like nanda, like and
You
stuff like
can't
that.
say Nanda?
but see, you do
But
break
you
it
could
down.
say none.
Yeah.
You could say none and you could say duh.
but that's still not right. It's between the D and the TH. It's
Yeah,
it's
Nanda.
like
Nanda.
nanda. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nanda.
they can't do that.
They can't do the the. They can't do the DTH sound. Yeah, the duh.
But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but also you learn
Duh is
Spanish.
pretty close.
Right.
You learn Spanish in school. You learn some of these like other languages.
But the difference between Spanish pronunciation, like the hard part about Spanish is the ñ and the r. Like
Yeah.
those are the two hard
Rolling
things.
those
And there's
Rs,
Can't do
man.
some people that can't do it. But with
can't.
with languages from India, there's so many different sounds. Like
Yeah.
Tamil is like so crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
So it's like harder to like match.
Yeah, and
But-
there's also like I've heard other languages. It's just like so foreign to me. Like people, I'm like, these are sounds. Like you guys are doing sounds. You're doing the, there's like a lot of African language. And I'm like, how do you like,
Right.
You
how does
click your mouth that
but
way.
the clicks and stuff. I'm like,
It's
wow,
dope.
that's a means of communication.
Yeah.
Like you full on sentences and conversations you're having, and it's astounding to me. But
I had a 5-minute conversation with my friend Olga on how to pronounce her name in Russian, and she was like Olya, and I was like Olya, and she was like no.
Yeah.
Like just back and
That's
forth
the
for 5
craziest
minutes, and I
thing.
was like, I can't fucking hear
yeah,
it.
if we're not
you hear
accustomed
it?
to certain
Yeah. It's the
It's the same
pronunciations,
thing with our
difficult. Yeah.
parents, I
It's the
guess.
same thing. Yeah, they can't hear it.
All right, so we figured out a way to forgive our parents for everything.
Yeah.
You're from the ATL.
I'm from Atlanta. That's correct.
ATL, how?
Yeah, ATL. Huh?
Were you in Atlanta when all the crunk stuff was going on?
Of course.
Little John,
Of
Yang
course.
twins.
It raised him.
Oh,
Hey, that's TK.
That still looks Indian, dude.
That's But like that southern hip hop movement is very much like bhangra. Like if you've ever noticed it too, because
snap your fingers, bully.
Oh, I just two things happened this week. Lily Singh just released a hip hop remix of Bollywood music, and she like recreated the videos and rapped over like this Bollywood beats. And then also I just saw this like dad on Twitter who's like married to a Pakistani. He's black, and he had
they're Blackistani.
They're Blackistani.
Oh my God.
And he had him and his kids dance to like Pakistani music for his wife, but like hip hop to merge. I fucking love like black and Desi culture together. It's
cool.
so great.
It is really
cool.
fun. I've been to a few weddings and it's just so lit. It's just so much fun.
fire.
I
The
do
food's
think
great. The
there's-
people are great. The
I
crowd's
do think there's
great.
something similar. I always go back to Pangea when shit was connected.
Yeah.
You see a little sliver of India and Africa, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been wanting to do this 23andMe or Ancestry.com for so long, just to see like what I'm made up of, but I don't know enough
Wanna
South
see if
Asians.
someone took that black dick?
Yeah, I have a feeling. I have a feeling I have some East African in me. Honestly,
because
but-
there's
or in your grandma?
because there were slaves. There were African slaves brought over by sold from Arab people to Indian people,
Yeah.
and then they just like integrated. They were able to like come up and rise as leaders in certain areas. So half of like South Asian people have like African blood.
Yep.
Yeah, and
not
then
so far back.
Even though, like more recently in the last few decades, the diaspora extends to Africa.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Indians in Africa, Malawi,
Yeah.
Mozambique.
I mean, even before that, you know, like during the migration of Muslims or whatever, I mean, a lot of like East Africa, Northern Africa, going to Egypt and then going to, you know, the Arab Peninsula and all of that. And like a lot of the migrations tended towards South Asia from Africa. So you never know. You never know how much of twerking you're capable of. You know?
All of this to say we can all say the N-word now.
I did sound very justified.
You did. You're like, actually.
Actually,
what I'm saying.
this is why all our cousins say the fucking N-word.
This is so true.
Calling out Kunal.
I have a cousin who's based out of Orlando. He lives in Chicago now, but he dropped an EP. He's a rapper.
Oh, yeah.
and it's
What's his
like
rap name?
Ruzzatown.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All
it's
right.
actually pretty good. It's like fun, like elevator listening to like vibing music.
I love elevator rap music.
Yeah,
My favorite.
elevator rap music. It's like, you know, you're playing in the
Love twerking
background.
in the elevator.
You're playing into the background like during like your 3 a.m. after party.
Okay.
You know,
Would
and
he describe it as such? or
That's
is-
what I would describe it as. Such, okay, because that's the kind of shit I've heard at 3 a.m. at the after party. So,
Okay.
but it's like you like putting this out. You sound exactly like some other dude from the South I've heard before. You know,
Right.
like it's like there is like this. Maybe it's because you're from the South, or maybe you may have like some like vocal chords and sounds that like sound the same. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I get that. When I'm drunk, I slur. I like drawl a little bit.
You have a
Yeah.
drawl. You have a southern drawl.
A little bit.
But do you think that's because you're from Atlanta, or because
drunk.
you're drunk and you're like genetically inclined to sound that way? When
well, you
you're
were
drunk?
raised in Georgia, right?
I was raised in
so
Georgia,
of course
yeah.
that's going to affect the way you speak. That's how you
It
learned
comes
English.
out. Yeah, it is how I learned English, and I learned English specifically to not because I didn't speak English for until I was in kindergarten.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I spoke Hindi. I spoke Hindi and Punjabi specific, like only. And so when I went to school, I was like, I know what you guys do to Apu. I don't want to be. I don't want you guys to, trash me. So I immediately started learning English in school.
Do they put you in
ESL or
Yeah.
is that what it's ASL? What
no
is it?
ESL.
English as a second language?
No.
They don't.
No.
Atlanta didn't
I
have
just-
that at the time.
I don't think so. I don't think
Indian kids are not allowed.
I know, right? It's like, Javier, come here. Neil, you stay in class.
Neil?
They
You'll
just
figure
threw you
it
in
out.
the fire. You started taking classes. You didn't even know the language.
I didn't know language.
How'd you learn shit? Well, I guess when
I
you're
don't-
young,
You pick it up.
Pick it up.
Pick it
Yeah.
up real
I
fast.
get the thing is I don't really remember. I don't.
You
I
picked
just,
it up real
I just
fast.
remember like I remember not speaking English and going to kindergarten. I remember like only speaking Hindi and Punjabi at home, and then my family was like, "He'll learn at school."
Yeah. How's your Hindi and Punjabi now? Do you still
Terrible.
speak that with your parents?
It's I half sentences
Yeah.
and like phrases and things, and like I wish I still remember.
you would immerse yourself into it. I think if you spent like a week in India, you would
That's what
like
I'm
pick it up
planning
like
on-
right away.
I'm planning on doing that. I'm going
Yeah.
to India in October.
Oh, cool.
So
This is after monsoon season. Are you gonna be okay?
I should be. I hope so.
Should we tell the embassy ahead of time? that,
Please.
you know-
Is
He's
that-
gonna star in Life of Pi too.
Yes. God,
Well, when you
announcing shit for me.
yeah, when you get a visa to go there as an American, they have track of like which citizens are there in case like any sort of incident or whatever happens.
word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how they know.
Good to know. I haven't been in a
So
long
you're
time.
safe. As an American, no one's going to bother you unless they really want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Which is why my parents became American citizens.
Hey.
They were like, I don't want to be bothered in my homeland.
Yeah. That's tight. Yeah. So I think I'm going to try to immerse myself and try to learn the language again.
Are you doing comedy there?
I'm trying to.
Hey.
I have a couple things
In
booked,
English.
I have.
but Hopefully, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, comedy is like booming in India right now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like very different in like the ways and it's evolving. So I bet you like Neel is gonna have a blast down there because
I had fun.
they're not used to like your comedy yet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they watch all the American stuff. So
Have you done it?
They'll pick up on
No.
it.
Oh, I thought you went to India.
I haven't, not to do comedy.
Yeah.
I've been to India.
I mean, for comedy.
No, I haven't been for comedy, and I'm getting a lot of fans in India, which is really cool.
Oh,
Like,
they're gonna
That's
love
dope.
you.
yeah, I
It's
like
gonna be fun.
Which cities are you doing?
Delhi, Bangalore, and Bombay.
Those are the three big
Those are
ones.
three.
Chennai has some good up and comers.
Are you doing it with the
and some
club?
people, but
I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be.
You're
fun.
gonna have fun. It's gonna be great. You're gonna come out of it like with like a massive following and stuff because they're like waiting for.
They're
more
very
American
cool.
comedians.
They're
Yeah.
like all like I get hit up
Yeah.
every day. Come to Bombay. Come
Yeah.
to
Is
Delhi,
it Canvas
come to
Comedy Club?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're still around.
No,
yeah,
they're
they've
around.
been
They had
expanding.
a change.
They're established. Yeah.
They're established. They had a change in management and stuff. So I bet you if we reached out to them, they might fuck with
They
us.
might hit
Who
you
knows?
back, yeah.
Who knows?
Because they were hitting us all up before management switched up.
Oh,
Yeah.
word.
I
Yeah.
performed there in 2016, like 3 months into comedy. I
Oh, wow.
performed at Canvas Laugh Club because I went to Pune, Mumbai, and Chennai, and they were like they showed an expansion in the last like 2 years. But it's super fun, and there's like I have so many contacts I can give you
Okay,
from that
yeah.
one trip.
We'll talk after the show. Yeah. After
But
this show.
After the
podcast.
show. But yeah, when I was there, like other comics were performing in like half whatever the local language was and half English.
Yeah.
So like I didn't understand their
what do they
jokes,
call it?
but they understood mine. English.
English, yeah, they call it
Yeah.
like English, yeah. It's
English.
because like you'll do like the setup in English and then like and then they'll
so I
do-
kept missing
that
every
was my impression
fucking-
of Hindi.
All the
It's just the
punchlines
hand,
are- yeah.
just my hand, just
Hovey,
shaking.
do you understand Hindi?
Tora tora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tori Hindi, so much too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understood that.
Yeah. I understood that too. I understand it more than I can speak it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is annoying.
Which is every language.
See, mine was flipped. Like, I didn't learn Hindi until I went to India when I was 5. My parents just talked to me in English, and it was not good.
Yeah, my parents did that too.
I grew up with my grandma lived with us, and my grandma didn't speak English. So to communicate with my grandma, I had to speak Hindi, and she spoke Punjabi as well.
Yeah.
So I had to communicate with her. So like until I was like 10 or so, I
Yeah.
spoke Hindi and Punjabi. But my parents didn't really speak too much Hindi at home.
It was more Punjabi.
It's more Punjabi.
That's why you like to party. You're Punjabi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardcore Punjabi partier.
That's why
You
you know
know.
where all the parties are.
You know.
I want to go back. What does your sister do?
She's a pharmacist.
Okay. And then your parents?
My mom is a pharmacist as well, and my dad owns a liquor store.
What?
This explains so much.
Everything. I get it now.
Drugs and alcohol. You know what it is.
Hey.
So when was your first drink? When did you have your first?
Oh man, are we doing this?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Unless
And what
you don't
was
want
your
to.
what was
I
your
know I
safe
can do
word
it.
when you were
Yeah.
drinking?
Yeah. What did you develop a safe
Zara.
word?
No.
That's actually a few people's safe
Bija.
words.
P-John. I didn't like drink heavily or anything, but like, I tried it when I was like probably 13 or 14, like in middle school. Like, I was
Were you the
Bad
cool
boy.
kid
Little
in high
bad
school
boy.
because you had access to liquor?
No, I wasn't. Not
No?
really. No.
Well, I don't know. I'm just
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
I did have access to liquor, and what's funny is like people would.
Neil's responsible for the
know.
heroin epidemic.
You're the reason why everyone's going to rehab in Atlanta.
You remember those 3 kids that died in 19? No, I'm just kidding.
My
That
bad.
was Josh, Michael, sorry, and
I'm like half hoping you show up in Atlanta, like the TV show.
oh
with
yeah, that'd be tight.
Glover
Donald,
and
what's
stuff.
up? If you're listening,
Like I feel like Neel is like cemented somewhere in a liquor store.
I'll do it.
Wouldn't it be
in
weird?
Atlanta?
Wouldn't it be weird if Donald Glover did listen to this
Yeah.
podcast? Like this is the only podcast he listens to. He was like, I got to get my facial rec this week.
I mean, he
Give
does.
us a retweet.
He
Shit.
does have a thing. He has a thing for women of color.
yeah,
It's a
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
okay,
Anyway,
yeah.
so
your drinking habits.
So drinking, it was like I just did it to like be cool when I was like 13, 14. I never really like got drunk or anything or like really, I would like take like a sip or like, or like pour it into like a Coke.
But when did the love affair start?
Are we serious? Am I an alcoholic? Is this an intervention? Goddamn.
He's really offended right now.
No, that's how you know it's a problem.
Oh my
That's
God.
how you know it's a
He's
problem.
getting so defensive.
You and I forged our friendship through you were being drunk.
That's very true.
And then apologizing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to throw up on you.
You got thrown up on.
No, he didn't. Just verbally.
Just verbally. Yeah.
You're the nicest drunk in Hollywood. I will say that though. Like,
What's Neil's looking at me.
Man.
And the meanest sober person.
No, you know what's crazy is the craziest thing.
That's like real
I'm just
sober
gonna
people.
I'm just gonna get it out there because I was blackout. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. I've been trying to avoid it. Foley's here.
Let's spill the tea
let's
or the
just do
beer
it.
or the liquor.
Spill the liquor. Spill
Okay.
the 40
Tequila.
So yeah, I got really fucked up. You know, when you said I was a nice alcoholic, I've heard that so many times. That's why I don't really worry when I'm like blackout drunk because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
fine.
such a nice dude, yeah.
I keep hearing that every time. Like I'll get blackout and I'll apologize. Be like, hey, sorry if I was really drunk at the show or whatever. And they're like, no, dude, you were so nice. Everyone was cool. But one time, I allegedly, because I was too drunk to remember this, got really drunk and like was like really mean to Pallavi. And I don't remember. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know where it started. I don't know.
It was multi-pronged. One of the things that you kept saying was how you're not into Indian women.
Oh, God.
And it's like you just kept reiterating it,
no.
and you're
Your
like, I
followers
hate
are-
brown women.
Oh, your followers are gonna love this. Oh,
But
man.
then the other thing was, he saw me bomb twice before we did this show
Yes.
together, and I had to admit that it was a bomb. And
well, I thank
it
you
was a
for
bomb.
being clear,
It
'cause,
was-
yeah,
they
I didn't
were
wanna
not
be like,
good. I
you
felt
bombed.
terrible. And those were the two times he saw me. So then he saw me do okay on this show.
Yeah.
But before he saw me do okay, he was just like, "How do you stay booked?"
Wow.
I was.
And he was drunk when he said this.
I think so.
I was very drunk.
I think I was drunk
Okay.
by the time we got there.
Yeah,
Because that
I
sounds
showed
like some
up.
shit you'd say when you're sober.
But then the rest of it was
Yeah, it does.
Man.
Sound, I would say it's sober, honestly. Yeah, but
I've definitely heard that sober.
Yeah.
But not by like Neil, by like
Yeah.
other comedians that I would
But
expect.
I didn't really know. I knew Neil like kinda.
that was the problem.
Yeah.
Is that like we weren't like we
weren't,
met each other.
like,
It was like
yeah.
the third time meeting her.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why that happened to me, and I was I know I was blackout drunk because I was told this the next day. My girlfriend and some of my friends that were there were like, "Yo, you know you're really mean to Pallavi," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "No," and then they told me what happened. I said, "There's no way. Why the fuck would I do it?" And they were like, "There's no." So I reached out that I
I
immediately
got like a long
I got
ass
a
text the next morning.
the paragraph text.
And
I
I
don't
was
know
like,
what happened. I'm so
is-
sorry.
and then my response was like, because I didn't take it to heart that
Which
much.
was I was like afraid Pallavi was gonna hold it against me
Is this
forever.
the
I
same
just didn't
shitty like party that y'all were talking about at the
Yes.
beginning of the podcast?
I didn't think it was shitty, but
It was
I
a
thought
shitty party. Okay.
it
Neil
wasn't a
thought
shitty
everything
party.
was shitty that
it
night.
was a shitty party. It was a weird venue.
was a backyard,
It was a
yeah.
backyard. It
Yeah.
was dirty. It was. You
But
know.
I got this long ass text from Neil, and I was just like, "Yo, he is in his feelings right
I
now."
was.
And then I was like, I just messaged something short back, like, "Ha, you were just keeping it, Neil." And
Yeah.
I just like
Keeping
No,
it
moved
Neil.
on.
you
I
were
was
very
like,
cool
whatever.
about it, and I was so mortified
It was
that
so
I
funny.
did that.
But it's
Yeah.
so funny because we're such good friends now.
Yeah, we're homies now,
We're like
but
so
yeah.
tight.
And that was weird. And when you said I was a nice drunk, I was like, well, someone doesn't think so.
One out of three
Yeah.
Desi women thinks that Neil is not a nice drunk.
You've been perfectly like gracious and nice and like overly apologetic, and I'm like, what is he? Did he do something wrong? He's just,
Maybe
you know-
since then.
I've just since then honestly that was because like I said, like I've been blackout on stage, I've been drunk at parties, I've done all this stuff, and never have I heard like, oh, you were so mean to this person, this happened, blah blah. And the fact that happened, I was like, I got to be careful, I got to like not, that really did make it was not like a turning point or anything, but it was.
And this was all one occasion when it happened.
It was just one
was
night,
one night.
and we hung out.
Oh,
we like
damn, so you were just throwing blows.
I don't know.
it wasn't like honestly like I didn't feel like it was like
Yeah.
that crazy.
See,
like I've had
I'm
people-
happy.
I've had people tell you that
right.
before.
And I'm happy to
Tell
hear
me
that.
what?
Like, have you had this experience with other people before? Like other comics? or
no,
whatever?
but comics are fucking mean. Like
yeah.
Well,
like other comics have been way meaner to me sober or whatever.
Right.
But
right.
like
well, that's good to hear because I heard from other people it was like I was like a monster.
it was
all
like
relative.
it was just like it was repetitive, but like I was just like Neil's wasted, and then I was like giving you shit back or whatever.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like it wasn't that bad, but
Okay. See, I don't.
but also my therapist says I seek out emotionally abusive relationships because it's what I'm used to. So
But we haven't.
I'm just nodding.
I mean, I haven't emotionally abused you since.
no, you're great.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
He
It's
learned
just
his
fun
lesson the
it's
first
fun
time.
to tease you about.
No, I've
and
got-
I think the reason you were the brown girls thing was you and I both talked about it. We associate brown people of the romantic kind. Like it's hard for us to find romance in it because we so closely associate it with family.
Yeah.
Just because of how we were raised.
Right.
So that's where it stemmed from, I think.
Yeah, it definitely stemmed
and then
from
it was
there.
just like,
yes, and then it just went
Did you
off.
fall in love with Neel that night?
I fell in love with
Yeah,
Neil's
we fell
dog.
in love,
But
Yeah.
we're
That was
We're
scary.
cool. We're very cool now, but I'm glad we got that because it was so funny because like we were talking about drinking, blah blah. I'm looking at you like,
I know. It was so funny.
So I think the moral of the story is if you had a bad night, just apologize the next day.
I think so. I
I'm
think
glad there's a moral.
I think
Yeah.
people just need
It was
to
chill.
apologize.
I like that.
No, I think so. I think people need to apologize because people make mistakes. People do dumb shit, but like it's like because like you can either hold like resentment or grudge, blah blah, or somebody can say sorry and everything's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also
Squash this shit.
It's also
Yeah.
like sorry, but like you actually like feel it, like because there are people who say sorry and like don't mean it at all.
Right.
And I think that's like the weird balance of like the cancel culture right now.
Yeah.
It's like I do want to see redemption for people. Like I do want to see people like figure things out and like grow from their previous behaviors because we're all human.
Yeah.
But I think people don't get a chance, and also people are disingenuous on both sides of the coin in terms of like growing up.
I
about
guess,
it.
but it's so hard to like tell. It's just you now we're just like picking and choosing who's disingenuous
Yeah.
and who's not because it's like everyone writes the same heartfelt or whatever apology,
and we don't really know them.
and we don't know them. We don't know their tone, and then it's also like a lot of times via text. Like they'll just post a screenshot of a
Yeah.
sorry, and then you're like, you don't fucking mean that. You just typed that on your, and it's like, well, yeah, maybe
I
you
think
don't
it's
know.
if we like the person or
It's
not.
just if we like,
Yeah.
it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, or if we want to give the person a chance, right? Like, because
Yeah.
there's some people that you just like write off, right? And you're like, you know what? It's just not productive, or it's not going to be worth it, or
Right.
whatever, you know. And it doesn't like mean. I mean, if it's like in LA, I've noticed like there's a lot of bad behavior on both sides. You know, like we're a bunch of comics and actors and entertainers, all kind of insecure about ourselves. So like, you know, bad things happen. But it's like. It's up to you. There's like thousands of other people out there that you could forge relationships with, you
Right.
know? So
Absolutely.
yeah, but I think it's like if you want to commit to, you know, having a relationship with that person or like being like, you know, keeping in touch with that person, then it's like, yeah, like forgiveness and apologies and like that's all important, right?
Well, have you guys ever burned any bridges? You're just like, fuck it, set this shit on fire.
I try to be at least civil with people, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't think I've burned any bridges. I've definitely like had longer bridges with people, but
Yeah.
I don't think you know, probably I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, fuck Neil, you know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did I do? But
They're in Scientology
yeah.
now. They're
Probably.
just trying to
People
people
in
like, how did he get me in this? I'll never get out.
Probably. I didn't get my check mark. Probably. I mean, I don't think I've burned. I don't know. That's a tough question because like there are definitely people who like I don't have a great relationship with or I don't I fuck with per se.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it burned. I don't think there's anybody I couldn't like hit up, you know,
Yeah.
or like couldn't reach out to, you know,
And
Even-
apologize to.
there are people that have I've had situations with where either I've apologized or they've apologized and I'm still like thanks, but you know I'm not like friends with this
Yeah.
person, you know, we're not going to hang out, but that doesn't, I don't consider that a burned bridge. I like to at least be civil
Yeah.
with everybody, even if it's somebody who I've had an issue with or they've had an issue with me and we've made it like we made it cool enough to where we are civil because this is a community, we're going to see each other.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the same rooms, we're going to be in the same backstage, you know, whatever. And I was actually talking about this on another podcast. I had somebody do something horrific to me when I started in Atlanta who never apologized, and karma hit them pretty hard
Oh my
recently.
goodness.
And it was weird because like you can't control your feelings. I was elated. I was so excited that the karma hit them, and you know, I didn't want to be. I was like, that sucks for this person's life.
So
you
don't
know?
you feel a little guilty when that happens? A
I
little
did.
bit? Like,
I did.
Oh man, I hope I didn't like manifest this
Yeah.
into.
Well, I didn't think. I hadn't thought about this dude in
Yeah.
forever.
And then you save that shirt for your future like karma come up and
fuck Jason. No,
I wore this shirt when Jason got fucked.
Yeah. But it was just like, it was interesting because I told my girlfriend, I was like, I mean, I don't want to be happy about this. But she
Yeah.
was like, you can't control your feelings. Like, he was
Yeah.
also a huge dick to you and he never apologized. And so it's like, you know, when that happens, karma usually hits those people. I've had people
Yeah.
apologize for things that happened like
What did he
9
do
years
to you,
ago.
man?
I didn't, you know what's funny is I told this kind of vague story on this podcast and I was like, I don't want to get into it. But fuck it, let's do it.
Let's
Fuck
do it.
Let's
Let's do it.
Fuck it. Oh, this is
spill
so
some chai.
embarrassing. So embarrassing. Want to throw some chai?
Spill some chai.
Spill some chai.
Let's do it.
Damn, this is so embarrassing. So when I first started comedy, I was an idiot. I was like 19 years old, you know, and I went, and when I was like I think 20 or 21, I got headshots because I was a G.
You were ready.
I was
You
ready.
ready?
I ready.
You ready?
So he ready. So
It was an inside joke in the green room last night.
Okay.
So yeah, I went and got headshots, and you gotta post them on that Facebook.
Yeah, I know.
And I was getting mostly positive, likes and stuff. They were looking good. I'm not gonna lie, I look pretty fresh. And so like a few comics in Atlanta thought it'd be really funny if they all changed their profile pictures to my headshots.
That's so funny.
Oh shit.
Which is funny. That was pretty funny.
Zahid and Jaffer do that to each other. They'll like
That's
change
so
their
funny.
profile pictures
Right.
to each other.
So
See,
great.
this is like mild hazing. It's nothing crazy. I wasn't like crying or upset about it. I was like, okay, ha ha ha, that's funny or whatever. This is when I feel like it got taken too far. A comic in Atlanta had a birthday that again, I started comedy in Atlanta when I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
So nobody liked me. No one liked me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're
everybody
young.
I was so young,
Yeah.
and it was funny, and my jokes sucked. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I was fucking hilarious. But sometimes when you have shitty jokes, they kill. Like I used to do one-liners,
Yeah.
and they're all like about jizz or about like, whatever. And
Yeah.
they would fucking murder. They would kill. So comics hated it because
Yeah.
they knew that I didn't have any skill. They knew that it was like amateur jokes, but I was still getting booked. I was still killing. I was, there would be shows where like people couldn't follow my dumb jizz jokes,
Yeah.
So I get why they didn't like me. It doesn't like surprise me. And also everybody was like between 25 and 35, So
Yeah.
it was like, I was just, not friends with them. So one of the comics had a birthday party that I wasn't invited to, because I wasn't cool. I wasn't one of their friends.
You also weren't of age.
I also I probably wasn't of age.
They didn't know that your dad owned a liquor store.
Right, they had no
basically.
idea.
You just need
They
to
didn't
tell
know.
people that. Lead
Maybe.
with that.
I should have led with
Lead
that.
with the pharmaceuticals.
Oh, and
Pharmaceuticals
Xanax. If you
and
need,
liquor.
yeah, if
Get
you
you
need Percocet,
everywhere.
I got you. Yeah.
Half a Xan.
Some Ritalin, whatever.
So anyway, so this party.
Who's doing Ritalin social media?
People in high school. All right, go on.
Hey. So actually in LA, I went to a
Adderall
party.
and
recently.
Ritalin,
Yeah, Adderall's become a social
Yeah,
thing.
People snort that shit.
I literally was at a
It's
party
Coke
once,
Light.
and I was like, "Yo, you guys want to go to a taco truck?" And they're like, "Oh, if you're hungry, just take an Addy." And I was like, "What?"
That's true.
It was
Adderall-
also like midnight. I'm
It's
like,
an
well, I'm gonna-
appetite suppressant.
Yeah, but
it's
like,
crazy.
I'm
Just
gonna
eat a
study.
fucking taco,
I
dude.
don't know.
Yeah, just eat a taco.
You just like you take an Adderall, you become the best mathematician. You're like, fuck, this isn't what I wanted. I wanted a taco.
I wanted a burrito. Anyway, so I didn't get invited to this party, and it's a comic who's a friend of mine now, whose party it was, and this comic who I had met one time, literally one time. I don't even know if I had met him at this point. Took my headshot and put it on a cake. Yeah. And so I'm just at home, right? Like I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
I think I was in college at the time. I was like just in my dorm room, like chilling or whatever. And then I get a notification on Facebook that's like, you've been tagged in a photo. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I see like my face on this cake and I'm like, ha ha ha, that's, like hurt a little bit, whatever. And then I got like 30 notifications. Every comic in Atlanta was taking pictures of them with my face, making fun of it. Someone drew a Hitler mustache on it.
What?
Somebody the craziest part was a dude, Josh, who apologized to me, and I guess we're cool, whatever. But he put a knife to my face, and like people were putting knives to, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
do they want to kill me? Is this like, whatever? And then
That is cyberbullying.
it was
for
it was
sure.
cyberbullying, and it was like, it was too far because like
Yeah.
if I were there, I'd be like, ha ha ha, I'm
Yeah.
friends with you, whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there.
can't defend yourself.
I can't defend myself. And
Yeah, it's like when roasting just goes overboard and it turns
Right.
into hate, and it's
Sure.
like unsafe.
And that's
you know?
fine. But if someone's roasting you to your face or
Yeah.
when you're around, I don't really see much of a problem. But if
Yeah.
it's like they're straight up having a roast battle of you when you're at home, like what the
Yeah.
fuck is that? So the dude, yeah, totally cyberbullied, like tagged me in all these photos,
Yeah.
all this stuff. And then I didn't know who did it. I was like, who did it? And one of my friends who was there, Tushar Singh.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, who did that? Like, who was it? And he was like, Andrew. And I was like, who the fuck is Andrew? I didn't even know who this person was.
Yeah.
And it was like, he did it just to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha. This is an inside joke. I want to be cool with these guys. So it was like, he went out of his
Wow.
way to shit on me when he didn't even know. Like, I don't think I
Wow.
met him. I may have met him once at this point, maybe once or twice, and said like hello. So me and that dude just were like, I wasn't cool with that dude for a long time. And then like he became a booker for the Laughing Skull. you know? And
Okay.
so politically,
Laughing Skull is
my home club. in
it's your
Atlanta.
home club,
Yeah.
but they also do,
Dude,
which is funny. There's a controversy right now
Yeah.
because they also do the
Right.
major comedy festival in Atlanta.
Right, which ties into this karma.
Yeah.
Actually.
That was the karma.
That was the karma. So he got fired because of that. He was the one that posted that like thing that was like, "Hey guys, this is our process." Blah
Okay,
blah.
so
Oh,
for
he lied.
so for the
And
listeners,
he lied. Yeah.
So for the listeners,
Yeah.
the Laughing Skull Comedy Festival got under fire earlier this year because they basically issued their lineup of everybody who got into the festival, and there was literally no black women,
Not
or
one.
not even one. Not like there was like a limited number of people of color, but they said there was like basically not enough black women applied, which was not
Right.
true.
And that was Andrew. So Andrew
Yeah.
posted that. Fuck Andrew, and he ended it with cheers, which was like a great icing to that. That's not a cheers
He loves
situation.
icing on cakes and otherwise.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. The thing about like when he put the thing on the cake and all that stuff, like it was a little too far, mostly because of the knife. That made me think like, do these guys want to hurt
Yeah.
me? Do they want to like like harm me in some way? Like they put a knife to my face and
It
we're
wasn't
thinking,
funny at that point.
it wasn't funny at that. It was just mean spirited and
If someone were to make you like a genuine birthday cake with your face on it now, would you freak out?
no, I'm not
Wouldn't trigger
traumatized.
you?
No, I'm not
You're like,
traumatized.
You don't have PTSD.
If it was my headshot from when I was 20, maybe, but no, I wouldn't be upset about it. But if it was funny, if it was in good jest, I wouldn't give a shit. But it's
Yeah.
like I'm not there. I don't know
And
this
you're
person.
a kid, kind. You're
I
like,
was a kid. I was
Yeah.
I was 20 years old. I was literally a child.
They were bullying you.
They were
picking
absolutely
on
bullying
you,
me.
and
But yeah, anyway, so Andrew got fired.
I'm glad they got
shit,
everything
he
balanced
did?
out.
Yeah, Andrew got fired because of that post. He posted
wow.
the thing, and the thing is, Andrew didn't have anything going on, and it was like this was like the only thing he had, the only power he had, which was weird because politically I had to be nice to this guy.
Yeah.
But it was definitely somebody who like I headline the Skull once a year, and he's definitely someone where when I go back and headline the Skull, I'm like, fuck, I got to deal with this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But politically, I gotta be, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? How are things? Blah blah.
Yeah.
He comes to LA. He asks to do Unnecessary Evil. He has to do my show.
Yeah.
And I have to just be like, all right, cool, yeah. But like in the back of my head, I'm like, this motherfucker put
Yeah.
my face on a cake before I knew him. Never other people at that party apologized. Since
Yeah.
have since been
And
like,
he never
hey,
did.
sorry, that was really fucked up. What happened? Like we took it too. They were like honest. They're like, yeah, we took it too far. We were just messing around, but it definitely got taken too far. We're so sorry. It was cool, and I'm cool with a lot of those people, but like he never apologized.
Well,
And
kudos to you for like staying in the scene as a kid and like keep working on it.
I decided that when it happened,
Yeah.
I went out
that
with
probably fueled you.
Yeah.
it fueled me.
Right?
It absolutely fueled me. I went out with Tushar like the day after or that night or something. We talked and I was like really upset about it. And he was like, man, I'm sorry. Like, and he was also like, dude, it's not personal. They were just fucking around. I'm like, yeah, but it feels really personal.
Yeah.
It's my fucking face
Yeah.
on a cake at a party I wasn't invited to. And so I was just like, and he was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to the club tomorrow. Like, I'm going to the club. I went to the club the next day because I was like, if I don't, they win.
It's activating.
Yeah, it's activating. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to kill harder. I'm going
So
to
that
keep
fucking
doing it.
cake galvanized you.
Yeah,
You fucking,
a little bit.
Damn.
And you know
let
what?
them eat cake.
And here's the thing. Maybe like it was a really shitty thing that happened, but like if anyone just like looks you up, you have like an extensive career. And God knows where all those
Yeah.
comics are, that we're hating on you.
That's-
Like you've been on Kimmel, you were in Adam Devine's house party, like you have Comedy Central credits, like you're releasing like literally an hour of footage, which is
Yes.
unheard. Like it's not common for stand-up comedians to do because essentially you're burning.
I'm burning an hour.
You're
It's
burning
so
an hour,
dope.
right?
It's
I'm
like
burning an hour.
it's super inspiring. You're releasing it on Instagram and YouTube, and it's like clips of like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and
Right.
it's so great. It's
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
Thank you. I've been working really hard on it. I've filmed over 100 shows.
That's awesome.
And it's been such an experience. I've learned so much.
Yeah.
Filming yourself, you learn everything you hate about yourself.
Yeah.
And you learn to fix
Isn't
that.
it painful at first?
Oh,
And then
it
you
was
figure
so
out-
painful.
Is
but
it still painful or you've sort of pushed through it
I've
now?
pushed through
it's
it.
tolerable.
It's tolerable because I know what I'm trying to get now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get this. And if I get it, I only have to watch that.
Yeah.
Like yesterday
Yeah.
I was filming and I wanted to get 2 bits on tape. So when I watched the tape back, I was like, I already got all that 7 minutes. I don't need to watch it.
You skipped through, fast forwarded it.
I watched it a little bit to see if there
Yeah.
might be something in there, but and then I was like, I was like, no, I didn't do any jokes I need, so I just like skipped through it.
Yeah.
And I found what I needed. So it's gotten a lot easier. And the one big thing that I've learned from it that I didn't think I would is performing in front of a camera. There's a specific way to
Yeah.
perform, not only for yourself, but for an editor. There's ways to, like the way you turn, the way you look, where you stand in the light.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can pick up just by filming yourself and watching that I had no idea I would like there are shows where like I naturally or instinctively will turn towards the camera on punchlines
Yeah.
and like when you're editing, it looks really fucking cool. And it's like, oh, now I'm like, I feel ready to do a special or
Yeah.
ready to do because I've
That's
filmed over
dope.
100 shows, you know?
That's awesome.
So we should probably
Yeah,
do
we gotta wrap up.
gotta wrap-
wrap up questions.
Okay.
So we ask 2 questions for our South Asian brethren at the end of the show. One is how, in what ways, other than doing comedy, have you broken the stereotype, and how have you built the stereotype? So in what ways have you like
Broken and built. Well, I've always tried to be creative. I've always tried to push like creative boundaries. I was in a screamo band in high school, which I don't.
What?
I
Were
don't.
you the singer?
What do you play? What do you play?
I played guitar and I screamed. I was the lead screamer. No.
Yeah.
We're gonna need more flashback Fridays.
Well, fortunately,
Do you have footage? Can you post? Can you make this part of like the videos that you post?
I do have footage actually, and which I should probably try to get taken down. But there is some footage of me like on like stage and stuff. And there was also we had our MySpace up for a while. I guess MySpace just deleted everything.
yeah,
they
they
just got rid of
lost
it.
56 million.
Thank God, because that shit was horrible.
I don't know. I look great back then.
Yeah.
I missed that time.
I did
anyway,
too.
continue.
Yeah. So yeah, I was in a screamo band. I used to write like girls like love songs and stuff, which were also on MySpace, which is now gone, thank God. So yeah, I've always tried to defy the stereotypes and try to be creative, musically or comedically or those kinds of ways. And then what have I done to
Build a
Build the
stereotype.
stereotype.
Like
build a
perpetuate that.
Perpetuate. I mean, I do talk about my family on stage, and I do talk about my dad and stuff. But I try to keep it as honest as possible. And it sucks because I do get like you can get people on YouTube or like on the internet that are like, oh, fucking Indian voice, or oh yeah, fucking your dad's at poo or whatever.
Yeah.
People will get upset, but it's like, hey, I'm just telling you a personal story, and my dad like I would be lying if I was like. And then my dad was like, Neil, don't do that. I'd just be lying to you. So
Sometimes I'll do the premise with the regular voice and the punchline with the Indian voice because that's like where it comes out. Like that's where their personality comes out the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you're honest, as long as you're not like.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, "Thank you, come again." As long as you don't do that, I don't think you're really perpetuating.
Though there
stereotype.
are a lot of greener comedians, not even greener. There's a lot of Indian comedians that are doing that,
Right.
And I don't think they're realizing that they're not doing themselves a favor,
Right.
by doing that.
And okay, I will say this: when I first started comedy, I definitely perpetuated stereotypes. I definitely like my opener was about how like there's no Indians in video games. Like, could you imagine like an Indian in Mortal Kombat that's like non-violent, stop, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was my opener, and which is a lie because there's Dulcim from Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was badass.
And I knew that while I was doing the joke.
Yeah.
Like I knew that. I was fucking lying.
Look how
I was
far you've
lying
come.
for the punchline,
Yeah.
It worked though.
I
Fucking
mean,
killed.
I lie for my punchlines too.
I do
mean,
too.
we all do.
We all do.
It's,
I do. Sometimes I do research to see if I can like get it kind of
Yeah.
close,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So
All right.
where can we find you on the internet?
I'm at Neel Nanda on everything. On YouTube, I'm Neel Nanda Comedy. Everywhere else at Neel Nanda. Hit me on Instagram, wherever. I'm also going to be traveling a ton, so check out my website, neelnanda.com. I'll be in the Bay, New York. I'm going to UK. I'm going to India, Canada. I've got Seattle, Chicago, everything. So just check it out.
You are international.
Yeah.
You're Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. I'm
You're Pitbull.
okay, guys. I'm Pitbull.
With codes
You
in
got
one
me.
area code.
And Neel Nanda, thank you so much for coming out.
Oh, thank you guys. It
Yeah.
was so fun.
Hell yeah.
So our social media is facialrecognitioncomedy.com. Well, that's our website, and you can find all of our social media on there. Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter, Facial Recognition Comedy, or Facial Recognition, Facial Recognition Comedy on everything else. I'm Fizza Dasani. You can find me at Fizza Dasani everywhere, FizzaDasani.com, FIZAADOSANI.
I'm Paula Viganalin. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN. That's my website, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook.
And this is Zara. You can find me on all the socials and everywhere as Really Zara. Zara is spelled CAHRA. When does this come out? Tuesday?
And our next show is April 14th at Westside Comedy Theater in Santa Monica.
And the second Sunday of every month at Westside Comedy Theater,
9 p.m.
9 p.m.